This is Steve from GamersNexus.net, and we are going to be analyzing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim in-game trailer. So let's skip ahead to where we start seeing new elements that are not cinematic. The first stuff we really start seeing is this falling snow right here. The snow is dynamic. It does not dynamically accumulate, but there are weather patterns that are dynamic, as has been stated by Todd Howard. So that's pretty cool. That makes the game feel a lot more realistic, a lot more open, and it probably will limit visibility, which is also a pretty cool strategic element. I wonder that might affect sneak, which would be pretty nice if weather actually has a gameplay mechanic effect. Let's continue here. Our hero is going to be fighting this dragon. We're going to talk about this more in a little bit, but the dragon fight, nothing new here. He's dual wielding weapons. We've already heard the mechanics will include dual wielding specifically, meaning that you cannot cast spells if you have a shield and a sword in your hands. You probably, and I think that's what we see here, you probably can do dragon shouts, because this guy in the trailer clearly is doing some kind of a magical effect or shout while wielding two weapons, which means that he wouldn't be able to have a spell in one. So we're going to assume that's a dragon shout. Okay, after the shout is yelled, we see the first glimpse of towns, which is really, really nice. We see a big tower here with a waterfall in the background, and it's a stony villa in the mountains somewhere. Nothing too special about that. Next we see animals that are walking around in the forest, which it might sound stupid, but is actually kind of significant, because that means that you won't only be seeing monsters in the forest. There will actually be small animals to make it feel more realistic, and again, more dynamic. In the background, if you look really closely at 1 minute and 15 seconds, you can see what looks like a ruined statue with just a giant head. So that kind of adds to the elements we will be exploring, and it'll just make it feel a lot more alive. Here we are seeing another town. The bloom on the background is beautiful. There are bloom effects, crisp graphics, fantastic shadows, and what looks like this. I'm gonna say, guys, I'm putting money on this. I'm saying this is a smithy, $5. However, it might just be a torch. Either way, you see the smoke, environmental effects, and some really nice bloom. At 1 minute and 21 seconds, we see the first working wood mill. We've heard a lot about these lumber mills and wood cutting and all these skills. I think we've only heard 5 skills listed. Say in the comments below if you know more. But the lumber mill is actually pretty nice. It has a guy working the mill inside or outside of it, right next to it, and it looks like 2 guys mining or cutting wood over to the right. The point is, whatever they're doing, they are doing something. They're not just walking around waiting for you, the hero, to talk to them. Their life no longer revolves around yours. The Bethesda has made the NPCs appear to actually have lives of their own, and the economy of towns will be based on these skills that they're operating out of. So the lumber mill, if it is destroyed because you fail a quest or destroyed by you, this will affect the town's economy. They will now have to import lumber from other towns, which might increase the cost of lumber-based items. Not that you would be using a wooden shield against a fire-breathing dragon, but you get the point. Continuing on 1 second, at 1 minute and 22, mainly you see the reflection on the water of the background sky bridge kind of thing. So that just shows the water's really improved a lot. This is some kind of ruin, really nice waterfall. This is cool. The giant is awesome. The game has returned to a fantasy-based setting. Yes, Oblivion was technically fantasy, but it was more leaning toward medieval than fantasy, and that's because they took out a lot of the really unique stuff that we saw in Morrowind. So the Morrowind fans will probably be really happy to see things like giants return, and giant spiders, and dragons. This giant in particular, massive club you probably don't want to get hit with. I'm guessing that'll be pretty cool in combat. The graphics are beautiful. He has large hands to show off his stature. The leather is really well done. The skulls look great. It fits the setting perfectly, and I think it's a restore to fantasy that we have been waiting for. It's been 10 years almost since Morrowind, and it's really remarkable that they're finally going back to it. The town is pretty cool too. On the left side we see the watermill, which is again similar to the lumber mill. It shows that a working economy is in place, and that there is a different selection of buildings compared to Oblivion. It's not just houses and stores. It now actually has industry and economy. The guy in front of us, they're just showing how the NPCs walk around with a smarter AI, which implies that they will not be standing around waiting for you to talk to them. They have set paths that they follow at day and at night, and that will really improve the dynamics of the town. Sneaking, fighting the dragon. This, I think, tell me below what you think. I think at 1 minute and 31 seconds it looks like a werewolf. Let me know in the comments. The dual wielding mechanic is in use here. He has fire in his left hand, which is a spell, and then the sword in the right. So that just shows how that works. Murder in the tavern, fighting the dragon again, blasting a spell with a wand. This is really cool. At 1 minute and 36 seconds, we see some spinning around, which would indicate new combat maneuvers, or at least new combat graphics. Similar to Oblivion, if you used right-click and acrobatics, then it would do stuff. So I'm going to skip these next few seconds and watch that again. We see him fighting the guy again and doing a finishing move. Right here at 1 minute and 44 seconds, he's getting stabbed through the gut as a finishing move. We have heard that these are going to be in the skill tree for each individual weapon. There are skill trees now, you've probably already heard, so mace, sword, stuff like that. No spears, unfortunately. And then he kills the dragon and fights the giant spider, and nothing really that we don't expect here, other than he does absorb the dragon's power. I don't know if that's cinematic, or if that is when he becomes Dovahkiin, or embraces the power. Tell me what you think, but I think this is really the Elder Scrolls game we've been waiting for years, for a decade, and we're really looking forward to it. Follow us on gamersnexus.net or at gamersnexus on Twitter if you are looking for updates on the game. We will keep analyzing these as they come out. I will also keep posting news and eventually the review. So let me know what you guys think. If any of you are at PAX East, come say hi. We'll be there, about 6 of us, and we are going to talk to Bethesda, so stay tuned.